Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hera TV. My name is Laleh Hancock. I'm one of the Hera advisors, and I have the great pleasure of having Chantel Abraham here today. The story is a little bit different than what you might have heard on the other shows. Here's a beautiful friend who was born in South Africa, started to become as a chef and
Yeah.
learned so much more. And now she's in the UK. She's created something really magical, but I can't tell you about it until she tells you. So here we go. Chantel, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you guys. We're finally doing this after so long, and I thank all the people behind the scenes for this opportunity for me to be allowed to share with you guys. Yeah. So basically, I was born in South Africa, yes, and I was in a school called Career Learn, and in that school they taught us skills. Just before we get to the real world, they'll teach us how to cook. For example, girls that cooking, like typing, hairdressing, and the boys that panel beating and woodwork, all those kinds of stuff. So they gave us a taste of the real world. So yes, like the first few years, you go around, and then I chose to stay with cooking, and at home we cook and bake, and then it's just in me. So I chose cooking. I became the head chef of the school, so we built a restaurant. So what they did is
Oh,
our parents would come for dinner, so we would cook and then we'll serve them. So it was like a little business as well for the school to donate towards school and things like that. So now, when I finished school, I couldn't afford to study. My mother couldn't afford for me to go further study, and so what I've done um, wait. First, I was listening to radio station every Sunday, and there was a DJ called Kabzela, and he was always motivating the youth on like he knows it's hard to get a job even though you have your degrees, but what if you go volunteer in what you're passionate about? He says teach yourself to earn money, like for example go clean your uncle's backyard, learn to earn that way, for example. And then this light went on in me. So then I thought like I'm gonna go volunteer in some kind of hotel. And then I asked my mother, could you make me can you make my CV please? And then she did. And then I took the CV. So I took a taxi into town in Sandton. And where I got off, there was like all these different complexes of like, there was like a Holiday Inn, and there was like a convention center, the Michelangelo. But I continued to walk down that street. So I came on a corner and I saw this beautiful red carpet and gold and everything. And it's Sandton Sun and Towers International, the Intercontinental Hotel. So I stood and I thought, like, my goodness, shall I go there? But like in my heart is beating and my legs are walking towards the place. And then in my mind, like, no, you can't go there. It's too fancy for you, brother. But I walked towards the place. So anyway, I got there. So there's different people that I ask, how can I volunteer? I don't have any experience, but I'm willing to work for free so I can gain experience to be able to get a job. So I wasn't successful the first day. So I went back the Monday. So when I got there the Monday, one of the ladies, the security, if I think back now, it was a miracle how I got in. She helped me to get in and speak to somebody. So there was a chef that I walked into, and I gave them my CV. So I said, I'm here to volunteer. I want work experience. And, I can't afford yet to study, and I don't mind to work for free. So the sous chef was almost going to say no, but he started reading my school letter, like how nice the teachers was writing about me. And then a head chef came. He's like from Germany. If I tell you, he really had that beard, and then he had no smile, and he just looked at us. And then the sous chef told him that I'm looking for work voluntarily. And then the head chef looked at me down, and he says, "Give us a job, but we're not paying her." And I was so happy. So I went home and said, "Mommy, I found, volunteer work and things like that's how I worked. I worked for 6 months for free. And then that year was the convention where all the presidents came to South Africa, and the places were getting busy, so they had to hire. So I worked for 6 months for free, on contract, and then they made me permanent after that. So I stayed with them for 5 years, And then there was another chef who, like from Germany, when that one left, who came, and then he was so fun and loving, and he taught us so much about Europe and the cuisines and things like that. So I started dreaming about London. And then not just that, the day that there was this year where Princess Diana died, so London was a lot on television. And in my heart, I'm like, I'm gonna be there one day. I wanna go to London. And it did happen. And so what happened was the new chef that came to me one day. He says to me, how would you like to go work in London? And I was like so excited, like, yeah. And he's like, well, you hold your horses. And I said, what is it? He says the South African High Commission is looking for a chef to come cook for her and live with her in London. And I thought, like, yes, and this is how it happened. So I ended up in London. I worked for the High Commissioner, and I cooked, for different head of states and professor this. I've cooked for our government people, all these kinds of things. And I kept that job for a year, but I must say it was the toughest job that I ever had because, first of all, I left home at the age of 22. It was very difficult to work for a person that I worked for. It was very demanding, long hours and everything, but I did it for a year. But I must say, if I did not have that job, I wouldn't have developed such a strong character because after that job, there was no male or female that could dominate me. So I was very strong in my career walking. And then so done with the High Commission, I worked at different places in London. And then finally, I worked for Soho House. And this is a company that sponsored me year after year to work for them. So I was the pastry chef, working in different places, opening different restaurants for them and all this kind of stuff. And then after that, I worked. I found there's a friend of a friend who invited me to come and help her, and then I met beautiful people, Stephen and Lisa Burge. They are Empire Design owners. So if you see, for example, movie trailers and things like that, especially the James Bond trailer, that's the owner that I work for. So he does this kind of thing. So he does like cinemas, and then he's got those kind of things going on. So I was only supposed to help them for a short time. And then he says, then I didn't know they were busy with the project Selfridges. And then they opened Selfridges. And wait, so that before they opened Selfridges, I was busy helping them at Olympic Studio, which is in Barnes. And then he came to me and he said to me he loved my work, what I've done in Olympic, like changing all the cakes and the variety that they were selling. And he says, I would really love your help. Can you just advise? First, it was just give us advice to, like then I got fully involved. So it wasn't something that I looked for. And I've always been passionate about, I would love to go to a cinema where you can have warm food, like small bites and things. So I had the opportunity to build that for them. And so I was working with them just before COVID hit and things like that. So it wasn't really a good time for us to open, but that happened. So as time goes on, just before we like open, close, I thought like we should make our own ice cream, but like I'm tired of vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, like the usual things. And I'm a I'm a pastry chef. I got equal strength with making desserts and cooking. So, and I thought like, what I make sweets, but I don't really like to eat dessert. But it's not to say I hate it or anything. It's not my first choice. But ice cream I can eat anytime. So I went in my heart. What if I turn an ice cream into, sorry, if I turn a dessert into an ice cream, And then I began to play with textures in my head and how am I going to do it? So I executed the first two flavors, lemon meringue and apple crumble. And and then when I let somebody try it, so now there's a guy called John Layhawk. I used to work with him, and like he was helping me like perfecting it, how much and add and take, and so we developed. So when people tried it, they were like, wow, it tastes like my mama's this and my mom's that. And I thought like, wow, we onto something. So what has happened is I did like, I think 15 flavors, and out of that 15 flavors, we took six of them. So there's like lemon meringue, sticky toffee, chocolate cheesecake, Eton mess, creme brulee, and then the apple crumble. And then later on, I met a guy who has a really good rum, Nativo, like a good rum from Panama. And I thought like the world needs rum and raisin ice cream, but like a proper rum and raisin ice cream because I love it. So I developed with it.
Oh.
So I developed the ice cream with that, and when they tried, so I called like some of my Jamaican friends to come and try, and he brought his mother in to try, and they like, wow, that is the best rum and raisin ice cream they ever had. So yeah, so this is how we developed it, and then we started selling it. So the feedback was really good. So now now I have a brand called Dessert Ice Cream. So the owner has given me the company and the opportunity to open it in Selfridges. So then I moved myself away from the kitchen, and then I developed the ice creams and making it. And then this summer, it's the sales started picking up throughout summertime, and then Soho House, after working with them for so long, I still had that good relationship with them. So they had the Soho House Festival. It just happened to be like, I'm ready with the ice cream, and they have the festival. So they were really big support. Like they bought the first 2,400 ice creams for me to go serve at the festival. So it was also the same time like this like a nice big, like how can I say, big lunch for me. And yeah, so we and then after that we also started selling it to their cinemas in like the electric cinema and things like that. So now here we are doing to like looking into how we can perfect it when we get to summertime. So now we're just in the middle of like sorting out the little logistics of like how we're going to move forward and do things. But yeah, that's where we're at with the ice cream company at the moment.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. There's just so many things because you shared so many incredible things. What I love about you is you never give up.
No, you
And
can't give
and
up.
exactly. But see, this is where most of us don't realize the gift that we
Yeah,
are. Like
yeah,
you being brave enough to put your CV together. Thank goodness you have a mom who could do that. Not
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
has a mom that could do that. But now there's so many things online, and there's so many other
Yes,
people who can help you with that. There's
yes,
agencies that they don't even charge, your
yeah,
governments have access to. I just want to put this out there because people are
yeah, yeah,
watching
yeah,
so
yeah,
they know. But you taking that brave first step of getting on the bus and checking out. And what I love about you is you followed your knowing. You didn't go to the Hilton, you didn't go to these other hotels.
yeah.
Like the power you inside you was
Oh,
like, no, no, we're going to the red carpet, we're going where the gold is, you
yes,
know, because we know there is something inside us that just knows exactly where we need to be. And we have to let our thoughts in our heads get out of the
yes,
way, just get out of the way and let
yeah.
our knowing shine and guide us.
It's
And,
very true.
I used to call it the gut instinct, but now I call it awareness and consciousness. It's like that
Yes,
awareness
yes,
of you were exactly where you needed to be at that
exactly.
moment. And I
Yeah.
love even the way you even described the German guy, because like, deep inside, he was like, yes, we are going to do this. Um,
Yeah,
but I think most people don't realize their dream is so important. Like
yeah,
when we stop dreaming, because it's not a dream, it's actually the future talking to you.
yeah,
So,
very
like you
true.
said, you knew you wanted to go to the UK, you saw it on
Yeah,
the news, you saw
yeah,
everything, even with Princess Diana.
yeah.
Like when we engage with the future we would like to have, we can
Yeah,
create it, but
it's true.
we have to get out of our own way of it's impossible. We got to get out of the impossible bull. I can't say that on here. And
Yeah,
just be willing to say, what is it going to take for
yeah,
me to be able
yeah,
to do this or go to
very
this
true.
country? And you found your way to some very impressive people along the way.
Yes, a lot of impressive people, and I want to, if I can just go way back to before anything else, like before I could come to the UK, we not like my mother's a single mom. She raised us by herself. We struggled a lot. If I tell you, we lived in a room, a small room that's divided with a curtain, and like for example, the wardrobe that's the kitchen, that's the room, and then that little part we sit and watch TV, and our toilet was outside. And I told, and the first time like got employed, I said to my mom we should buy a house. And and I think for the first time my mother felt like, wow, I actually have help. So yeah, we got a mortgage, and how things happened so fast for us was great. And we are faith people. Like, we pray, we fast. And if we think about how me, my mother, and my sister was on our knees praying for everything, and like praying for me to come to the UK, and fasting and all these things, we look back, we like, you know what? God is, for me, for us, God is good. That was my journey with, and it's true. A lot of people need to know, your, as you said, you need to listen to your instincts, our dreams. It's like, it's actually your destination you need to get to. But I want to tell people, I know it's difficult to go get your dream, and never ever give up on it. The thing is, you need to know that there are people that in life that's supposed to be your doorway, but out of spite and out of certain people, jealousy or whatever, that door will probably, you will probably not get through it. But believe me, that dream in you is so big. There are other doors a way around for you to get there. So really never give up on your dream. And you need to know, people, like, the thing is, everybody's trying to figure themselves out. Sometimes people don't even know why they're difficult. Sometimes they do know why they're difficult. And that's for every woman out there, and every man and woman, but let's say mostly women. They struggle to get where they need to go because of certain egos that happens in life. But never ever give up on what you believe. I come from a place where, literally, we had almost nothing, but we had each other. We had dreams. We had love. We had warmth. And that's the most important thing that can cultivate you through life. And the day that you get there, like, I look back and I pinch myself of, like where I am and the people I cook for. Like, it blows my mind. Like, even my mother's, like, my family, like, they surprised with how my life turned out, because I was a very, like, when I was young, I was a very problematic child, and then obviously now I've studied because my home was broken. So I also had to find and fight for myself. And now here I am in front of people saying, listen, it doesn't matter what you go through, your life is worthy. And whatever dream and that power you have inside of you, it's never too late to execute it. Never settle because the world looks difficult. Do not believe the lies that you see, but believe that that's been placed inside of you is powerful to get you where you need to go, if you connect with your mind to that. And that's all that is. You can fight and you can win.
Yeah. And you know what I found traveling around the world is that
Yeah.
each of us is such a gift.
Yeah.
We are looking at other people, but don't look at it from an envy of what someone has. Be willing to say, I'm going to have that too.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we live in an infinite world. There is no lack and limit to anything. We just have to get out
Exactly.
of our head and allow it to happen. So
Yes.
let everything be an inspiration as a way to uplift you and kind of push you outside your
Yeah.
comfort zone
Yeah.
and let you say, you know what? No, I am not choosing to give up. And I found a lot of times we go fighting, we go this way, like we're like, okay, this wall is in front of me. I'm going to go through it and
Mm.
create a lot of difficulties. But what if
Yep.
you ask, what else is possible I haven't considered? And you go wrap around, like you're like, oh, wait, this door is
Yeah.
wide open right here.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the mistake people do. It's like they want to fight, and then you end up being so tired and busted at the end of your career, is because you never look at the option around it. We always just want to fight that way, but never go that way. Like, if that doesn't happen, okay, it's not meant to happen at this moment this way. And then sometimes, yes, it's supposed to, but you need to know, just as you go through life, that person also has to go through that life lesson. Nobody's being tested or anything in this world. It's just how we believe. It's just how we treat each other. But if we really just let go of all whatever is going on in the head, and like really look, because I believe everybody's got a good heart. It's just the minds that's been messed with, like, since we've been young up till now. And now,
Yep.
like, it starts from abusive relationships or whatever, and all these things we carry through life instead of dealing with it. And now you end up being in a career, still not dealing with it, and then you become this boss, still not have dealt with it. And this is how toxic gets spread. If a person do not choose to work on their issues in their head, it affects the rest of the world.
Yeah. But also people's kindness and
Yes,
gratitude spreads the same way. So each day
exactly.
we can choose, I'm going to go the path of my problems and focus so I can have more problems, or choose the path of possibility, of a dream, whatever it is for you that you actually brings you out of that craziness and actually allows you to focus your creative energy on
Yeah,
something that's going to create even greater for you and everyone
yes,
around you. So
it's
like, I
true.
love your journey and I cannot wait until I try your desserts. Oh my
Oh
goodness, this
yes,
is
oh yes,
amazing.
oh yes. I love it. I love inviting people over for tastings and things like that, to come and try, and the more feedback there is, and the dessert ice cream is, I'm a huge fan of reducing sugar, because there needs to be more flavor than sugar, because a lot of what I've learned and seen with a lot of pastry chefs, they think more sugar is more flavor. And you look at how people get sick out there. So I love to take care of people's food, and I use natural flavors to give the sweetness and everything, so you actually taste the dessert in the ice cream. So it's all those kind of little things that makes it special, that it's a dessert ice cream, like the reduced. And it's amazing. I had somebody over, like how that happened to me. First of all, I cooked for one special star, Rashid. It comes with Rashid Common, and he gave me his diet list, and I thought, like, my God, how am I gonna cook for this guy? He doesn't eat da. And then he taught me, like, but he doesn't know it yet, but he's the one that taught me how to use natural things to give you the flavor and the things that you need to eat. And that has impacted me into the work that I did. And then from there, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I can create vegan. Oh my gosh, I can create any cuisine, like when it comes to food and like dessert and things like that. So when it got to the ice cream, I thought, like, yeah, like, wow. And I look at my rest, like, my goodness, did I use so much sugar in my ice cream before? And I started reducing. And yeah, people enjoy it. And there was a lovely lady, Kristen. She tried one of my sorbets, and the ice creams, like, as she had them and she describes them, and then as she's describing them, she's describing how I was feeling making it, if it makes sense. And look at that art in, like, the emotion and food and things like that. So food is art. It's very important how we execute it and serve it to people, because people are eating your emotion at the end of the day.
Hmm. Your voice carries through in so many different ways. Listen, thank you so much for being here today. I have one question. We are on
Yes.
Hera TV
Yeah.
and this amazing project. Actually, Hera right now is already serving people globally, but
Yeah.
the city side of it is going to be built, in the near future.
Yeah.
We're already at the first steps of it. And
Yeah.
what is your advice? You have women, you have men, you have children who are watching this now in the future. Like,
Yeah.
what would you share as some word of advice for them?
For the woman that's building,
No, for
like,
any woman who's watching this.
yeah, my advice to women is, you really, like, the thing is, we, as women, we're emotional creatures, right? And it's a powerful thing. It's not a weakness, okay? It's because we care for everything. So whatever you believe in your heart and execute it, bel- uh, whatever you believe is in here, and you're gonna believe me, if you work towards executing it, it will happen. It doesn't matter how challenging it seems, but if your dream in here is bigger than anything else, believe me, it will happen. That's all I can say. Believe in yourself. And not just that, you need to think as a woman that you want to be supported by somebody. All right. So, however you want to be treated, treat the next person the same way as well. And also acknowledge that we are all different creatures. We all been raised differently. We all have different challenges. We all have how can I say, different backgrounds. But this is the most powerful thing about us having difference. We come together. If we bring our differences together, we can have a powerful thing in front of us.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm so grateful for you. And one last thing, what's your vision of Hera and Hera City? Let's say in 5 years.
Oh my gosh, I told the girls that, like, I see Hera, whatever Hera is doing good for mankind, and I cannot see how that's not going to be blessed and explode. Like, I see it everywhere. I'm sorry, I do. Like, I went through it, and I've met the ladies, and everybody that's in there is they genuine. Like, when you meet people, like, you can feel when people are real or not. And your guys' foundation is strong. And it's been coming on as well for a while, if I'm not mistaken. But wherever Hera is powerful, because you changing people's lives. It's all about when you change a person's life, that's purpose in life. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you, learn more
You
about you
too.
and
You
your
too.
journey and your amazing cooking and
Thank
baking and
you.
desserts. And we'll
Thank
have
you.
all your information below so people can find you as well. And if you guys
Thank
have
you.
any questions for Hera, go to heracity.org and click
Yes.
on the contact us page. And we look forward to one day meeting all of you in person at
Oh
Hera
yes.
City. I cannot
Oh
wait.
yes. Oh yes. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a big moment. It's gonna be fun. I'm telling you, it's powerful.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chantel. Have a great day.
One more thing,
Yeah,
explode with goodness and just continue to be kind, because kindness can kill everything. It doesn't
truly.
matter what.
I really
Yeah,
believe
thank you.
gratitude and kindness outcreates
Yes,
everything else. Yeah.
explode with it. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Have a beautiful day. Bye
You too.
bye.